Yeah.
Okay, so we're streaming.
Hopefully, give it a second. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so this is a test. Not really a test, but this is our first time going live. So I'm hoping it goes well.
Hoping it goes well.
So if I open YouTube
Yep.
right now, then there will be feedback.
Yep, it appears.
We're ready to go, Nick. Go for it.
All right, welcome everybody to the Monthly Movie Dispatch, the movie review show from friends you can trust. Every week we broadcast a review of a new film, talk about some film news, and recommend what to watch. We've been talking, critiquing, and gushing over movies since we were young, and we aim to bring you honest conversations about film. I'm Nick Moffat. I'm here with Sean Bowlby,
Hello.
Brandon Bowlby,
How's it going?
and Derek Deal.
Hi.
So, guys, that was the new intro. That I just wrote that today. So
Nice.
hopefully it was all right with you. And
Yeah.
for the listening audience out there, this is our first episode of our new phase 4 of the Monthly Movie Dispatch. We are obviously we're here. We're live. We're on YouTube. We're doing it live, and we're going to be doing this every week. We're going to have a new review out every week. The episodes will be shorter, and we'll be live on YouTube every Tuesday around 8 o'clock. And then the next day we'll be on our podcast feed doing shorter episodes, specific reviews, and a little bit of movie news. So I'm just going to jump right into our movie review, not review, but the movie relevant topic. And that's the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes happened last weekend, happened on Sunday. And the thing about the Golden Globes is that they're kind of like the younger stepbrother of the Academy Awards. People don't really take them seriously, but people watch it because it's fun to see the celebrities getting drunk and hanging out with each other. And this year was, we're still in COVID era and they weren't hanging out with each other. But come on, it was fun seeing Kaley Cuoco, in her nightgown, in her big old gown, eating pizza on her floor, right? All of that was fun. So, real quick, guys, what were your big takeaways? Just looking at the list of winners and losers. Or winners and nominees, I should say. I feel like anyone who gets nominated, yeah, sure, losers, nominees, whatever. What are your big takeaways, Brandon? I know you got thoughts on this.
I'm actually pretty impressed with Nomadland winning for both Best Drama and Best Director too.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah, like such a small director, like up and coming, and she did such a crazy good job with this film. It's cool to like see her get the recognition on such a big scale like this. I don't know, that was pretty unexpected for me, definitely.
Yeah, and that is that's
Chloe Zhao.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, and
you think she's gonna be a front runner for Academy Awards, maybe too?
I think Nomadland was up there even before the Golden Globes as front runner, and I think it's gonna stay that way for sure.
She would be, I believe, only the second female to ever win if she does, right?
Who's the first? Catherine Bigelow? Or
Catherine Bigelow was the first.
She's the first and only, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that was for The Hurt Locker or Zero Dark 30?
The Hurt Locker.
Yeah, Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker, okay. Yeah, no, I was pretty happy with that too, and I definitely think that secures her a nomination at least with the Academy Awards, and I'll definitely be rooting for her to win.
Did you guys see, speaking of Judas and the Black Messiah on today's episode review, Danielle Kaluuya? I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Kaluuya.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Best supporting role.
There are a few weird things that I noticed. For example, there's a new Jodie Foster one for Best Actress, I think.
Yeah.
For a movie called The Marchuri. I can't even say this word. I'm sorry.
Mauritanian.
And that movie is like, it's completely a 2021 movie. Like everywhere I've seen, it's like it's not out yet. It's completely 2021. So these nominations are kind of weird, but
I feel like there's a lot of movies in this list all over the place where the Golden Globe, like they didn't know what to do. It's like almost like they don't really know like what movies are out in the zeitgeist because no one was really able to tell them this year. Because it was such a weird year with COVID. Because there's like nominations across the board that just like make no sense if you're actually in touch with the movie scene. And, like music is a big one. Yeah. But there's things throughout this whole thing, like what you just said there.
The Prom.
This movie called The Prom, The Father.
Hamilton is an odd one.
The Life Ahead. There's just movies throughout here that like no one knows about, no one saw, don't have very good reviews, or middling reviews at best. Yeah, it's just a weird nomination list. I think it's because of COVID.
Even like Rosamund Pike, she won for I Care a Lot, and that came out like 2 weeks ago on Netflix. So there's more crossover between years this year, and like we talked about in the last episode. Our last episode is our top 10 episode, where we usually have our top 10 around the time of the Academy Awards, but we did it months ahead of the Academy Awards because they've been pushed back. But it seems like these nominations are kind of like in line with our other way of thinking, where, I mean, I know this is the Golden Globes, not the Academy Awards, but there's a bunch of nominees and winners for movies that are everywhere I've seen officially 2021 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually watched Judas and the Black Messiah. I think it was a 2021 movie, and I didn't even think about it for our top 10 list.
Oh,
Must have just been in some
considering
theater somewhere before the new year or something.
I'm absolutely
Letterboxd
considering
calls it a 2021 movie.
Yeah, I'm absolutely
Letterboxd says it wasn't released till 2021.
Yeah. Although Letterboxd is kind of weird.
No, it's not
like.
always 100%
Yeah.
accurate.
Letterboxd is usually behind on the release dates, not in front of the release dates.
Yeah.
They're usually like Judas
you're
and the Black
looking at-
Messiah is like 2018 film, guys. Get it right.
No,
When
there's
it was filmed.
there's a A24 movie that I've been like looking forward to called Saint Maud that is coming out sometime this year. Like, it's definitely not out anywhere. And it's like on Letterboxd says 2018. So
They finished production. They go by when they finish production.
It was playing at some like indie cinema in like some back country in Croatia.
From
From
the
the Letterboxd like
the first
counts
cut.
that as a premiere.
It's the from when they finished the first cut of the film, the rough cut of the
Are you
film.
like reading this officially, or
Me?
Are you just
No, they don't do it.
It's the official word.
This is
Okay.
Sean's official word. I called him up the other
Okay.
day and I told him that this is how they need to do it.
word? Okay. You guys like Sacha Baron Cohen and Borat picking up the wins? How about that?
Not really.
No.
I mean, there wasn't
sorry.
anything else that I
Yeah, I
was
was gonna say,
excited
it
for,
gets-
but
The competition.
I mean, Palm Springs would have been
seems
cool,
stiff. Oh yeah, Palm Springs. What?
but I wouldn't have.
You guys know how much I love Palm
oh
Springs.
yeah, I love Palm Springs.
Yeah, Palm
But-
Springs is good. I mean, I heard Hamilton was really good too. Like, it translated really well into the
Yeah, it was really
TV
good.
format. But
Yeah, but like,
I don't know how to.
is it a movie?
Yeah, is it?
We shouldn't have that discussion.
But I mean,
here,
if it's
but-
nominated, it should. If it's nominated there, it should be considered
yeah,
a movie.
yeah.
And in that case, it's unquestionably better than Borat.
I also will say I think the general consensus tend to like Borat more than we did.
Yeah.
All of
I
us were
hear-
pretty hard on Borat.
That's true.
Yeah,
People liked it.
I hear nothing
also,
but
I
praise
mean-
about it.
And also, like, it's a great performance, even if you aren't a fan of the movie. I mean,
Yeah,
He thanked his-
absolutely.
he thanked his bodyguard in his winning speech,
Mm,
which is like, yeah, you gotta thank that guy.
yeah.
That guy saved your life.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
For
that's kind of a similar thing with Hillbilly Eulogy and Glenn Close's nomination. Like,
Mhm.
it can still be considered like a good performance in a very, very bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I would
Okay,
definitely
so-
put Sacha Baron Cohen. That's a good pick from that list at least.
So yeah, the Golden Globes happened though, and I mean, I think the Oscar nominations are coming out sometime in the next couple weeks, so we can go over those when those come out. But yeah, I mean, Golden Globes are what they are. You know, they're okay. That's something that happened. That was an award show. I don't really want to spend
feel
too
like
much time dissecting it.
You
but-
usually say like every year, you're like, it's just like a party. It's just like a Hollywood party, and
yeah, for sure.
whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Well, let me
matter.
ask you guys: Did any of us watch the Golden Globes?
Absolutely not.
I didn't even know it was
No.
happening until
Yeah.
like film news started popping.
I wouldn't have minded. I think last Tina Fey and why am I blanking out?
Amy Poehler.
Yeah,
Amy
Amy
Poehler.
Palmer. I think that was one of the funniest hosting jobs I've seen in I don't know when they did the Golden Globes last, but that was.
From-
I still
find
watch
that-
clips from that. It's so funny. So I actually
they're
would have liked to have watched it. I just didn't think about it, and then it passed me by.
Yeah, I mean, same with me. I mean, I saw the winners and losers, and I watched a few of the acceptance speeches, but yeah, I just totally spaced on Sunday night. So talking about something I didn't actually experience. So maybe we
That's
should
what we
move
do
on.
here.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's just jump into our movie review. So the movie that we're talking about today is Judas and the Black Messiah. So that is the new movie by director Shaka King. Stars Daniel Kaluuya, Lakeith Stanfield, and Jesse Plemons. Plot description has a little bit of a spoiler in it, but it's based on real life, so I think that's okay. The story of Fred Hampton, deputy chairman of the National Black Panther Party, who was assassinated in 1969 by a Cook County tactical unit on the orders of the FBI and Chicago Police Department. And this movie is currently available on HBO Max and in theaters.
And I saw it in Dolby Atmos
Oh wow.
theater.
Oh, you actually went to the
What?
theater for this, Sean?
Yep,
I didn't know
Dolby
that.
Atmos
Wow.
of
I
all-
saw this in Dolby Atmos.
Wow.
It was
Jealous.
pretty awesome. So it's definitely getting at least a half star more higher
Extra.
rating, extra
with
rating.
your chair vibrating
Yeah.
with the big frequencies.
I probably would have given this a 5-star movie if I saw it at the Dolby Cinema. Like just hearing that you saw it at the Dolby Cinema makes me want to cry.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
It's
so
cool.
fun.
Like a movie like this would never be in Dolby Cinema,
Mhm.
but
yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
soon it won't ever be again.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Dolby kind of I feel like they pick weird movies sometimes, like especially in February when there aren't too many like
All right.
actual like
For a
huge
short
blockbusters.
for a short period of time, yeah, they're
Yeah.
rarely there
Yeah.
for very long. Yeah, there was one other guy one other guy in the theater watching it with me,
Wow.
and he was like
Wow.
five floors back, 5
So you-
stories up from me.
So did you feel safe?
Yeah,
I mean, like, so you wore your mask the whole time, and
yep. There was hardly anyone in the movie theater, so I basically just went up to the machine and I got my ticket, and I handed it to a person, and then that's it. And I walked into the theater. There was one person, and then I just
Yeah.
walked right out.
Sounds like you'd
so
be like less safe picking up coffee at a coffee shop.
yeah.
You're in some massive auditorium.
Hmm.
Man, I will say that just reminded me because they played like Return of the King or something at the
Yeah.
AMC Lows, and on like a Saturday night, I just glanced at it and it was sold out.
Yeah, actually,
They,
some of
like,
those.
filled the whole thing.
Yeah, there's been a few movies that have been sold out. I think there's still 25% capacity max, but
Yeah.
yeah, some of those like rerun movies are selling out.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still don't think I'd be comfortable going to a movie where it'd be sold out. Just
Oh yeah,
people
definitely.
munching on popcorn and stuff. I just don't
Mhm.
trust anyone with their masks and stuff. But if I knew that there was like one other person in the theater seeing the way back, oh man, I hella would have seen that in
Mhm.
theaters. I actually like finished this movie and I was like, man, that would have been cool to see in theaters.
I actually renewed my AMC A-list membership.
Yeah,
For it.
I'm waiting.
Soon for me too.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Let's kick it off.
good
Anyways,
for you, Sean. Good for you, Sean. So really, we're reviewing this movie because it was getting great buzz. You know, it was the early reviews were great and a lot of strong buzz for this movie. And you know, last month was Black History Month. It seems like this is the perfect movie to watch for Black History Month. My initial thoughts were that I thought this was a very powerful film. And that challenges the historical understanding of the Black Panthers and the organization's relationship with the United States government. I think, you know, I left being like, Black Panthers are the most misunderstood, like, maybe concept in American history. Just, you're taught in school that they were basically a terrorist organization, and you know, in some ways, technically they were. Because they were going against the government and weren't afraid of violence. But this movie was mostly about how they were trying to set up soup kitchens and take care of their communities and look out for each other, and they were being prosecuted by the FBI. The FBI leader was not the leader, but the guy in charge of the case was played by Jesse Plemons, and he's so good. He's like a he's either hilarious or just like the most weirdo creep you can imagine. And
he definitely his performance in this
both.
definitely reminded me of Breaking Bad. I don't know if you guys remember him in Breaking Bad, but he's like this kind of young kid who like is very stoic, I guess, but like super nice, but in a creepy way. And he like plays it. He's
he has this
really good.
awesome innocent character in
Yeah.
Fargo season 2. That's amazing. And
he's
I'm
really
thinking of
good.
Ending Things. Yeah, this guy is. What was that comedy he did? Game Night.
You're thinking of Ending Things. Or I'm thinking
All
of
around,
Ending
like
Things, that
Jesse
comedy.
Plemons.
He's
He
great.
picks the perfect roles.
Yeah, he knows what his talents are, and he really like hits them. The other aspect of this movie is Lakeith Stanfield plays. I don't have his character name in front of me, but he is he gets picked up by Jesse Plemons early in the movie for stealing a car, and
Bill O'Neill
so-
plays
Bill O'Neill,
O'Neill.
Bill O'Neill, and he has to Jesse Plemons' character convinces him to go undercover as part of the Black Panthers, basically working for the FBI, so he doesn't have to go to jail. And I feel like Lakeith Stanfield plays this role really, really well, because you never know if he is like how into it he is. You know that he's working with Jesse Plemons and he's on the side of the FBI, but as the movie goes along, he's further and further invested in the Black Panther movement, and it seems like he's getting really sold or invested in like Fred Hampton's speeches and that movement, but you never really know for sure. And Lakeith Stanfield plays it that perfect balance where he's like stressed out about his life and his the FBI coming after him, but also that he's undercover. So that was a pretty interesting part of the movie. Anyway, what did you guys think? What were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, it's kind of like what's the Keanu Reeves and oh no.
Point Break.
Point Break. It's kind of like a Point Break where the FBI agent comes in and is supposed to be undercover, but then starts getting kind of brought into the organization. I thought that was a fun comparison, but yeah, it's I love that dynamic of him. He's supposed to be kind of spying on him and providing information, but then he starts kind of really falling for or really seeing the value of what they're doing and starts becoming emotionally invested in the organization, and I love that dynamic of the film, and especially Daniel Kaluuya's performance is top notch as the leader.
Yeah, Fred Hampton.
Yeah,
he was really magnetic in this movie.
Yeah,
I really liked
Widows.
I liked his like gentle side to him when he like first started getting like with the love interest connection. Like he just switches into like, I don't know, puppy mode in those scenes. And it's like such a stark contrast. And at one point she even acknowledges that. She's like, "You're shy." But I thought that was just a really cool choice, and he just gave him so much depth.
Absolutely. There was also another part where he actually went to prison for stealing ice cream or something stupid like that.
$70 worth of ice cream
in real
or
life.
something. Wow.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened in real life. And then later on, they got him out of prison, and they were trying to they were spending all this money on his lawyers and the case, and he made a comment like he was so annoyed, like this is supposed to be going toward the community, and we're spending all of our time and resources on just like my legal trouble, and you could just like feel his like frustration with the whole experience. Well, Derek, what do you think? What were your thoughts about this movie?
I like, I kind of echo everything you guys said. I really liked it. Yeah, it's really crazy how like twisted of a perspective I feel like we have on like this whole era and like the Black Panthers and just everything. Like you just know so little about them. So it was a really fascinating movie to kind of dive into that, and such a good like story to tell to break into it, because it's like, man, it kind of runs the gamut, from showing the good they're doing to a really struggling community, and the real positive like change that they're actually affecting, and it's just showing you how threatened people were by like the power that they started developing, and then their willingness to, if the cops are going to come shoot at us, like we're going to shoot them back, like kind of thing. It was like you kind of get both perspectives like kind of wrapped up in this perspective, I guess. Like you kind of, I don't know, by the way because this movie doesn't hold back from, there's like a decent amount of action, in this movie. There's gunfights and shootouts and
blood and
so it's like, I don't know, like in those scenes you can kind of see like the perspective that we were taught in school, like shining through, like trying to be like, see, these guys are terrorists kind of thing. But it's like, but by telling it from their perspective, it was just a really unique way to tell the story, and I think it made it really, really fascinating and educational. And
go ahead.
I'm
Brandon.
blanking on the name of this Denzel Washington movie that kind of took place in the 70s about like corrupt police officers in New York City and like taking down everything.
American Gangster.
American Gangster, is that it? Yeah,
I
remember when I saw that
Russell
movie.
Crowe.
That was what it was. It blew my mind that I was just like, wow, like not that long ago when my parents were adults, you could just hand the cops a wad of cash and get away with it in this country. And that being a true story, and I like really felt kind of the same realization again, like experiencing this movie. It was really powerful, and I was also just like surprised. I don't know, I didn't hear too much about this movie coming up. It was just like all of a sudden out on HBO, and I didn't hear too much conversation about it, but this movie like shocked me at how good it was. I really liked this movie, guys. And there was just like a lot of really smart like filmmaking stuff going on throughout this whole film that really elevated it a lot. There's like beautiful lighting and interesting like dynamics there, and like there was the shot when the raid was happening towards the climax, and it hangs on her face as shots are going off on the bed behind her that she just got up from. And like the choices of where the camera is in this movie,
that performance in that moment was
the performances
such
are
an
incredible across the board
take on that
and
scene.
Also they did a lot of like kind of this technique I don't feel like I see too much anymore. Maybe it was more popular in the 90s of like letting like voiceovers or like music play out after the scene into like the next scene, and like providing these really interesting transitions. And they did that like 4 or 5 times, and I thought it was like really effective, and just really good editing with the way they would like carry over some of like the sounds or dialogue into the next scene and have it apply to both instances. Oh yeah, just a lot of really good filmmaking, and it was intense and a big learning experience.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. Last episode, our top 10 of the year, we talked a lot about like fully realized visions, and I feel like this is another one of those movies where like the director Shaka King, this is his first like full feature. I mean, he's directed a bunch of TV and some shorts and stuff, but this is his first true feature. And
damn.
And it's like clearly, again, like he had a vision. He knew exactly what story he was telling, and he just directed the crap out of it. And I mean, I thought this movie, I'm with you, Brandon. Like I was enthralled. I was bracing myself with this movie, and I was very much into this. I thought it was just fantastic.
It was interesting to see, like Sean, you mentioned like the Point Break tropes of this kind of like FBI informant where like things start going wrong on both sides, and he's getting more and more morally over his head. And even like the FBI guy that's supposed to be guiding him starts breaking down into seedier and seedier, like asks of him to do. Like you've seen this so many movies before. It's really like mind blowing that how much this is actually like connected to a true story and actual events, and this documentary that you can go watch and actually learn about all this stuff. And like these film tropes are just like rooted in actual instances.
Right. Like I was actually like thinking about that, where like we've all seen like The Departed, you know, and we've all seen these movies that are undercover cops and stuff. And I felt like this movie did like rely on the tropes, like it leaned on the tropes. But the fact that this was a true story, and you know, most of it was, you know, I'm sure some of it was embellished a little bit, because you have to consider that when you're watching any sort of biopic.
Combined, shortened. Yeah,
or expanded,
consolidated,
you know, like dramatized. But still, I felt like it felt pretty genuine though. Like it felt like it probably happened just like this, and that kind of like wipes away the tropes. You know, that wipes away like any sort of like leniency on, oh, we've seen this before in other movies. Like, yeah, but this stuff actually happened in real life. Like that guy got picked up for stealing cars, and then started working undercover for the FBI. Like that really happened.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
There's definitely like, oh, go ahead, Nick.
No, it's okay. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just continue just talking about some of the plot in the movie. Like when we were just talking about like tropes and like different things, I was like, and I'm sure this was all intentional, because everything in this movie felt really well planned out and stuff. But there's definitely like points where some of like the seediness that the other agents were doing, once you find out there's like other moles and stuff in the group, like I kind of thought that's where the story was going, was that Jesse Plemons was going to start like having a turn of heart, you know. And like, but yeah, like you guys said, he kind of just like doubles down and just gets seedier and seedier, and like
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk spoilers at all?
I was
like,
just saying, let's do it.
Yeah,
that's what I was
definitely.
getting there.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say before. I was gonna. I feel like we need to get a spoiler like tag or like noise or like gong or something. Yeah, but we'll get that. We'll get a noise eventually. We'll get a theme song for spoilers or something. Brandon's gonna write a spoiler song on his guitar,
on his drums.
So spoilers from this point forward. Spoilers. Brandon, what were you gonna say?
I mean, like what Derek's saying is, I really liked how our lead character didn't go. We didn't see him go one way or the other, and it's not like they had a choice. Like I guess in real life, he didn't go one way or the other. You know, he was stuck in the middle, and it tore him to pieces. And that's kind of where the movie leaves off with our lead character. You know, he doesn't ever like. I was thinking the whole time he's gonna go to Black Clan or the Black Panthers and become a double informant and reverse it back on the FBI, and you'd see all those other typical things happen, but it never played out double in agent. Those like more complicated Departed type situations that you think, and it just ends with him being more and more heart wrenched about everything he's being asked to do on both sides. And it was a great ending for me.
And the way that they the way that they opened the movie, and then the way that they closed the movie with first the actor,
the fake interview,
the Stanfield at the beginning, live or in that interview, what, 1990 or something, and then at the end it cuts to the actual Bill O'Neill, the actual interview that he did. And that the way he described how he felt about what he did was pretty incredible. And yeah, I mean, it really nails home the themes of the movie of betrayal and fighting for a cause while, you know, or not being able to deal with that middle ground that he played in for the movie. That was, yeah. I mean, it had me thinking for
That's
a
an
long time
interesting-
after the movie.
It's an interesting perspective for him to have too, because it's like undoubtedly what he did was bad. Like he definitely led to a lot of people dying and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But like his perspective of like, at least I was part of like the struggle, and I was like doing something instead of just sitting and criticizing and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
it's an interesting perspective to have, because
Mhm.
it's like, well, I mean, you say that, but there's like dead bodies everywhere too. So
Mhm.
I mean,
don't know.
I kind of want to push back just a little bit against Brandon, just because. I mean, I love the ending too, but I felt like, I mean, just after after those interviews that you guys are talking about, they had the text that they had that real life documentary that came out right after those interviews happened, and then he saw that he saw the documentary and he saw it all laid out and saw like what he did, and then he killed himself the next day. And like I feel like, you know, he saw that he was in the wrong, but then also like the movie I think takes that position too, very much so, where the at the end of the movie Jesse Plemons is like, hey, we'll offer you more, you know, we'll start paying you, you know. I can't
Oh,
remember what the offer
100%.
was,
Like,
but
of course, yeah, he knows he's wrong. That's why he's torn up, but he doesn't do anything about it in the movie that we see. And there's not like some big, like, triumphant redemption. You know, at the last
Yeah.
minute, I was
Oh, sure.
expecting him to tell
Sure.
everybody in that house to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And he
right,
doesn't.
okay, I
Or
hear you, I
not,
hear you.
or
Like,
not draw him the map. and
Yeah,
stuff
or
like
I was
that.
thinking either that or he wasn't going to give the correct map or quarter. Like, I don't know. It's just that
totally
was
okay.
yeah.
I hear what you're saying now. Like he didn't make a stand in the movie. There weren't any plot points that that was part of the plot. It was, but I do think the end of the movie was like he made poor choices. Like he was on the wrong side.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, even the name of the movie is pretty clear on that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Damn. I didn't even. Yeah, super clear on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was the Judas in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
One of the first times we see Daniel Kaluuya, they call him the Black Messiah too.
Wait,
You
Daniel
kinda
Kaluuya
see where-
calls.
No, I think it's like one of the cops or something, or
Yeah,
talking-
the
they're, like watching like a
FBI's
speech or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about
Messiah.
Jesse Plemons's like career, but like Lakeith here, Stanfield, like the movies he's been choosing these last 4
Oh, yeah.
years, just
Yeah.
like
That's great.
blowing.
They're both in Get Out.
Yep, they both were in
Yep.
Get Out.
Oh yeah, both of them together. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
realize
then he was also in 12.
Monkeys.
Oh my God.
12 Years a Slave.
Yes.
No,
No.
gosh darn it. He was in Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah.
And
That there's no 12 in that title.
Oh, Short Term 12.
Short Term
Oh.
12. Yeah, that was the first movie I saw him
He was
in.
also
Short Term
in
12.
Oh wow, he
um,
was okay. He was the other guy
Knives Out.
that. Yeah.
And he was in Uncut Gems.
Knives
He
Out.
was really good in that too. Yeah,
He's- oh yeah, he was in Knives Out.
Mm.
Forgot about
This
that.
guy, my God.
Daniel
Yeah.
Kaluuya.
great careers. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
Daniel Kaluuya.
performances
they're
in-
both like really young. Like they're gonna be.
There was a
around for
moment
a
at the very
while.
beginning of this movie where, you know, it's like him in front of Jesse Plemons, like after the crime or whatever. Jesse Plemons is talking to him with the FBI badge. He has this huge gash on his eye and he can like barely speak. There's like this gurgle in his throat of like phlegm. And I was just like blown, like I was just trying to think, like, how do you just start a scene thinking your character can't speak because there's phlegm in his throat and he can barely get a word out? Like,
Yeah.
but it was just like so defeated and so perfect for the moment. It was brilliant.
Yeah. I love that scene and the way that he questions Bill O'Neill. The
Yeah, you're like, what
questions
is he
that he
getting at?
asks. Yeah, the questions that
Like,
he
why?
asks, and yeah, the way both of them play that scene is pretty brilliant.
For sure, and it doesn't tell you what it's leading to. It like the scene ends, and then
Mhm.
we go off to this whole like
Yep.
Black Panther cast of characters that we follow for a bit, and then all of a sudden, like I mean, maybe 10 minutes later, we see him in the class, and
Yeah.
the camera like pans to him in a like interesting way,
Mhm.
and he like comes back into the movie,
Yeah.
and that was just like really creative, and I was like, oh, like it just connected in such a like good way. These
Mhm.
two storylines.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So what do you guys think of like the climax? You know, the big raid.
That scene was
where-
brilliant. Yeah, how quickly it escalated and how fast it just how quickly the devastation just ran through that apartment or that building, and then the way that they end it with the shot on his wife,
Girlfriend.
girlfriend. Let me see if can I find her name. Can anyone find her name?
Dominique Fishbeck.
Yeah. Yep. The way that they end it, just a close up of her face with, the bedroom in the background, out of focus, and just the look on her face. She knew what was coming. Just the completely broken. And yeah, and I also wanted to point out her poem from earlier in the movie. Those were two just brilliant pieces of acting.
That whole scene, like you're talking about the one that's kind of criticizing him, right?
Yeah,
like
when
the
she's
second poem, when he's like,
yes, the one where it's just them in the bedroom and she's just that scene was incredible. It's kind of long and it kind of lingered in a perfect way.
What do you think of the climax, Nick?
I mean, I thought it was extremely brutal and shocking. And
cops
it's like,
are straight up gangsters.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, I
Tommy
mean-
guns,
Yeah.
just mowing
Not even
people
in
down.
uniform, just
Yeah.
yeah.
you
The way it was
you
shot.
see like brutal stuff in movies all the time. Like, obviously you see war movies, action movies, you see like horror movies, and then you see like real life stuff happen in movies that are just like, wow, that's pretty nuts. But like to see these this group of people in their safe house, they get raided, and then just the cops just mow everyone down, like,
Mhm.
and then their leader like dies in his bed, like
Mhm.
he doesn't even make it out of bed. Like there's no fighting back here.
Oh my god.
know?
And he's just laying there unconscious when she's trying. Oh my god. I'm like
Yeah.
getting goosebumps right now.
And it's like,
And the scene
and it's like-
before with it was almost a Last Supper type scene,
right.
with all of them together in the safe house. Sorry,
Yeah.
I interrupted you.
No, you weren't interrupting me. I was done. But
Yeah.
like it's just like it's just shocking.
Yeah.
That's all I have really to say about it, is that it's like it's just shocking to see that happen.
Mhm.
And like, it reminded me honestly of like Nazi Germany. And I know that's like not, it's like you roll your
Yeah.
eyes at comparisons to like, oh, it's just like Nazis or whatever. But
Yeah.
like literally it was like that thing where, you watch Schindler's List or a
Mhm.
Holocaust movie, and it's like people lined up and Nazis just like shooting people, and like that was
Mhm.
basically what was happening. Like they were surrendering, and they were still just being shot in the hallway.
Mhm.
You know,
They
and
weren't
it's like,
interested in. They weren't really interested in keeping anyone alive there.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
They like
Yeah,
went in
and-
just planning to destroy everyone.
Yeah, they knew they already had the lie that would work,
Yep.
and they
Yeah.
could do whatever they wanted,
Yeah. And
no
it's
matter
just,
what.
it's just like, it was just so brutal. It was
Mhm.
just so brutal. And like, it's like the whole thing was, Daniel Kaluuya's, Fred Hampton's whole message was like, you can kill people, but you can't kill a movement. But like, you can't help but feel like they kind of killed the movement. The
Yeah.
historically, like Black Panthers again are like completely misunderstood, and Black Lives Matters still very much a thing. People died in their beds last year from cops raiding the wrong house. Like this kind of stuff still happens, and it's just like, it's just shocking and heartbreaking and sad. And like, again, I thought this movie was incredible, and I'm glad it was made. I'm glad we saw it, and
it's free on HBO.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or in Dolby
Or
Atmos.
in
I don't think it's
theaters.
or in theaters. I don't think it's in Dolby Atmos anymore. Tom and Jerry kicked it out.
Sherry, you can go see Tom and Jerry
Yeah.
in Dolby Atmos.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Tom and Jerry's also on HBO Max too. But
Yeah.
anyway, any closing thoughts, guys? Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
What a crazy good film to open
Kick
the
off
year with.
2021.
Or to end
We're
the
gonna
year
have
with,
to look
depending
back on
on
almost a year later and judge it on our top
Yeah.
10.
No,
It's gonna be
totally.
hard.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, that was the Invisible Man for me last year, where saw it early in the year, and is like I revisited it like 11 months later, and it was like, yep, top 10. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all considering it 2021 for our list next year.
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
If Letterboxd is calling it 2021, it's 2021.
Yeah. They know.
So
They know.
okay, so with that, I think that wraps up our review for Judas and the Black Messiah. I just want to say that going forward, we're going to be doing weekly episodes. This is kind of a special occasion where we're all four going to be here. So going forward, a typical episode will just have two of us doing the review. So next week, we're going to be reviewing Raya and the Last Dragon, the new Disney movie. And I'm pretty sure Brandon and Sean are going to be doing that movie. So that movie's on Disney Plus, or it'll be a premium rental on Disney Plus. So keep your eyes open for that. That'll be airing next Tuesday. And
It's also in theaters too.
oh yes, it'll be in theaters and then a premium rental on Disney Plus. So I think that means you have to pay an extra.
I think it's $30.
Holy.
This
moly.
one's $30. Yeah.
Isn't that what Mulan was?
I don't know.
Yes.
Wasn't Mulan
Yes,
$30?
Mulan also had the same premium rental
Mm-hmm.
thing. So, anyway, so that's Raya that'll be Raya and the Last Dragon for next week. So, hey guys, it was great seeing you, and to our listeners, thanks for listening and or watching, and
We did it.
keep watching
Yeah.
the movies, and we'll see you next week.